It's interesting to me when I go to the All Things Spiritual meetups because I want to meet all these people and I want to interview everyone. I'm like, so interesting to me. Like, when did you start noticing things and stuff? And what I keep hearing from people is they've had these gifts or they've seen things for years, but they didn't think that was okay. And they've hidden it. They've tried to ignore it. And now it's like somebody has written this universal permission slip. Like, it's okay. We're letting this out of the closet now. Do you guys see that? So, hi. These ladies right here are launching something new and exciting. And so for the very first debut interview, they said, would you interview us, please? It's kind of weird talking about yourself, which I totally get. So, and I love to ask questions. My name's Melissa. Hi. I know these ladies somewhat, but I'm very excited to know them more. And so today I get to grill them. They told me I could ask whatever I wanted. So be ready. But this is the inaugural episode for the All Things Spiritual podcast.
Correct.
And so if you're like, what's All Things Spiritual? That's exactly what we're here to find out today. All right. So Carm, Rachel, thank you for asking me to do this. I'm excited. But first, like, how did you guys meet each other? And then let's talk about who you are and your spiritual journey. But how did you two become a thing, a partnership?
It's very interesting, don't you think, Rachel?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, very interesting. And we're sharing a mic, so we're going to be back and forthing on this, so it'll look weird. Hello. I'm a medium, and I got a call from Rachel. I was recommended to her by another friend who was also a widow. Rachel's a widow. And it was through that meeting that started our alliance, I suspect to call it. And very grateful for it. But Rachel has the best story.
Thank you. So I'm Rachael Ortega, and so I met Carm about 6 years ago. My husband passed away, and I was really sad and distraught. My dad passed away 2 months later, so I was really upset. And I had a friend of mine reached out because I'd posted on Facebook how sad I was, and a friend of mine reached out and said, "Hey, you should talk to this lady. She really helped me when my husband passed away." And she said, "Oh, and you guys are already friends on Facebook." And I was like, "Really?" And at the time, I was very involved in my church group in a very conservative Christian home. And I was like, what? I have a friend that's a medium? What the heck? And so I look and I saw her and I was like, oh, that's weird. How do we become friends? So I didn't sit on it. I sat on it for a little bit. I didn't reach out right away because I was always told that was bad. And, but after my dad passed, and then I think it was March, I finally reached out. My dad passed in February. My husband had passed in December. So I've reached out, and as soon as she called me back, and as soon as she answered the phone, as soon as I answered, she said, "Hello, this car." I started crying. And she's like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on?" I said, "I'm sorry." And I said, my husband passed and I just wanted to get a reading. So long story short, I came in, I made my appointment with her. I came in to get the reading, and I walked in and she said, "Wow, you have a really bright light." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And,
Okay.
yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. And so we did the reading. And then afterwards I said, "So when I first walked in, you said I had a really bright light." I said, "What does that mean?" And she goes, "Oh, that just means you're very open." And I was like, "Okay, well, what does that mean?" And she's like, "Well, you're very gifted." And she said, you're very gifted. You have a lot of gifts and you could probably do what I do." And I was like, "Oh yeah, right." And she's like, "No, I'm serious. You can probably do what I do." So she had an intuition class coming up, and I think I saw her one more time, and then she told me, "Come to this intuition class." So I came to the intuition class, the one that we're actually teaching soon together at the end of this month. And so she started mentoring me, and now we share an office together, and we're business partners. And so it's just been amazing. And then we found out too that we never knew how we became friends on Facebook. And so one day our friendiversary came up, and I was like, "Oh wow, I know when it was the day my husband passed away, we became friends." Yeah. And
it's funny because when she told me that, I felt like, oh, Jesse, made sure
Yeah.
this happened, because I think he was trying to take care of her and get her to the right people so he can talk. It was really amazing to think about it.
And I called her and I told her I was really excited. I'm like, Carm, I found out when we became friends. And I said, it was the day that Jesse passed. And I said, Carm, I said, I wasn't on Facebook that day.
Right.
My husband was in the hospital dying. I wasn't on Facebook.
You were like, who should I be friends with?
Right? I said, I wasn't accepting any friend requests and
Yeah.
I wasn't sending any out. So yeah, it was total. I think he just put us together.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
It's funny is I do believe spirit works their magic to help heal. And so that's just one example of, many I've had as a medium and a psychic. To me, I love it.
Yeah.
It's always those aha moments. And you may not find out till 5 years later, which probably was 5 years. We didn't know. I think it was 5 years. And with that, it just gave me more assurance. That's why we're working together.
Yeah. Well, not to make this about me, but I know I've been Facebook friends with you, Carm, for a long time as well. And I was like we'd never connected, and I wasn't really on the path of ooh, what you ladies do is amazing. I wasn't in that zone. So it was funny because your name came up. I'm like, oh, we already are friends. And I don't know. It's interesting how that all works. I would like to know, so you mentored Rachel, but who mentored you? How did you come to this path?
That's a great question. I opened up when I was 52 is what happened. I took a Reiki class with a woman named Michelle Mosheri, who I felt was brought to me. We're best friends. And at the time when we were just met each other, she had moved to Flying Horse, where I live. And she said it was focused that she had to move to Flying Horse into this patio home, which she had 3 kids. No one moves to a patio home with 3 kids. Well, I happened to move there because I had circumstances. We needed to find a home, and we had a financial disaster. And with that, we moved to Flying Horse into a patio home right down the street. And I had prayed to have somebody come in my life who had kids. And here comes this beautiful family, the Mosheris. And it was amazing because we both became dear friends. We're 11 years apart in age, but we feel like we've known each other before. And one day we were walking and she said, oh, she was talking about her house. She goes, I think my house is haunted. And I laughed because I was always psychic. And I say things and I don't even know where they come from. But I just say them. And I said, oh, the house isn't haunted, but you are. And so are your girls. And she's like, what? And at that point, she's like, no. She brings a medium in. And the medium tells her the same thing. And actually ends up clearing the house. And Michelle has gifts, just like Rachel had gifts. I saw it. And so with that, she started teaching Reiki. And I'm a loyalist for Friends. And she goes, I have one more seat. I need another one. Will you take this class? I'm like, Reiki, what? Who, what? I wasn't into spiritualism, raised Catholic. I was on a journey trying to find out where my purpose was. I knew there was something higher for me. I was always psychic and could see things and feel things. And so with that, I took a Reiki class, and then I moved into Healing Touch because that came into my purview, and I felt that was my bigger calling. So I ended up getting certified in Healing Touch, which takes about 2.5 years. It's like getting a master's degree in energy. And it's 2.5 years, 5 classes. You turn paperwork in about this much.
Oh, wow.
And you really have a good, solid foundation on energy. And with that, I went back and took some Reiki master, all the classes you had to take also. And what I found out, I walked hospital floors for 5 years at Memorial as a volunteer. And I got to go into ICU, labor delivery, newborn baby, mother, med surge, and I was doing Healing Touch.
Wow.
But through that, I was also feeling the dad. And I didn't know what to do with that. And I didn't want to step into it. But Michelle was always telling me, you're a medium. You just need to accept it. But, people who are not, I didn't want to be a medium. But then I had a vision, which was more of a visitation, I felt like. And it was showing me, you need to step into mediumship. And the vision was me on stage with 100 people in the audience and announcing who I was with a smile on my face. And I'm like, am I supposed to be happy about this? And I knew it was a calling. So I ended up I had taken a lot of mediumship classes because I always loved to learn. I'm a curious person. And through those classes, I knew I was a good medium. I just didn't understand that. So I had John Holland teach me, Joe Scheel, who is my mentor right now. I went through a 2-year program with him. He's a spirit artist and he works with all the top people. And I will say, and Janet Nahavik, who was probably the most amazing medium, but she's no longer with us, but I do hear her all the time talking to me. And so with that, I just was really happy. I love this work. It's my passion. I do healing work. I do mediumship. I do psychic, spiritual advisement, and also business counseling too in this higher realm. So that's me in a nutshell.
You're busy and you've studied a lot. You've learned a lot. When it comes to, choosing your mentors, like how have you gone about vetting who you want to be mentored by?
I think that's really important. Like I tell people, when you're looking for a medium, you need to find people who actually match your energy and your heart. I'm all about the heart. I call myself a heart-to-heart medium. But with that, I look at people and I feel their energy. And I know when I meet a person, I'm drawn to them, or I feel like we're not a match. And that's usually just feeling going back. It's kind of a body thing. But when I found John Holland, amazing, amazing teacher. And he worked with the best, Janet Nahavik and Joe, and he's worked with other people. And it's funny, when things come up, I kind of look at it and go, And it's just that pull of your heart. And like when Joe Scheel had a 2-year mentoring program for, he's a spirit artist. That means you draw the spirit alive. And I do that also. I was just moving into that field when I saw Joe was offering a 2-year mentoring, and he chooses only 20 people to mentor a year, and you apply. And I got in. I was kind of shocked.
So I'm still confused on that. And I'm glad you brought it up again, because when you first said he was a spirit artist, I'm like, oh, I'm very intrigued by this. But then you just said, I draw the spirit alive.
Correct.
What, like on paper you're drawing?
On paper. So when I am talking to you and your mother comes through, I am actually, it helps me to focus on drawing her, how I see her in my mind's eye. And so when that happens, it doesn't happen to all readings.
Yeah.
But when I am told to do it and they're willing to pose, I start drawing, and it helps me communicate with them better. And it's another form of evidential mediumship.
Okay.
And through that, I'm not an artist. I've never been. I've had art classes, but not formal art classes. And through my drawings, they hand me their picture later. They send it to me, and then I put them side by side, and you can see the beautiful essence of the soul. And I have many, many, many pictures. I had one yesterday I was drawing, and I told the woman, I go, I need to draw him with like a Polynesian eyes, I feel like. And she goes, he was from Hawaii. And so it's just, they talk to you through your hands just as much as through your mind's eye and your heart. Powerful. That's a spirit artist. It is powerful. It's considered to be one of the highest forms of mediumship.
So you ladies have been working together for 4 years? 6 years? You've been working together?
I can't believe that. I love it.
And you've been sharing an office and running intuition classes. And now you've launched this All Things Spiritual. What is All Things Spiritual?
Rachel, I'll have you talk.
Well, so All Things Spiritual. So Carm had this idea. Actually, you tell me the story about.
Okay, I'll start it and then you
how you had the idea.
We're going to talk about vision too. You could talk.
So it's really funny. When I get hits, I listen to them, and I get hits a lot. And this one was, you need to build a bigger community of spiritualists. And I'm like, well, how do I do that? I don't want to start a spiritualist church. I'm not a deacon or minister. And I just saw the Facebook page, Spring Spirituality, and I felt, oh, they tell you, and I listen, and it's like a download, just like anything when we're doing this work. So my download is to build the Facebook Spring Spirituality and build it into a bigger following. 411, the 719 of the 411, or 411 of the 719, kind of was my outline.
Okay.
Because they have people advertising plumbers and this. Everybody's always looking for a healer, different types, cranial sacral, to healing touch, to Reiki, to a medium, to a psychic, Or how do I handle this? People always have interesting questions on spirituality. And I thought, why not create a page that people can come to on Facebook and ask questions, because people are waking up.
Yeah.
And once you wake up, you're like, oh my God, now what do I do?
Yeah.
And so I got this download, and then I called Rachel and I asked her to think about it. Don't say yes or no, but we talked about it. I go, what do you think? And would you want to work with me on it?
And I said yes right away.
And I said, wait, you gotta wait a couple more days, think on it, get back. So we ended up, forming this beautiful alliance, and Rachel and I have very aligned energy. It's always about being of the light, of love, and the ethics are really both important to us in our work. And with that, I was like, it wasn't a question of who, it was just like, will Rachel do this? And with that, I asked her, and then we moved forward, but Rachel can talk to the rest.
I love that. And I've always been taught, like, leaders make up their minds quickly and change them slowly, and when you know something, you get that download, and it's the same like that, just like instant. Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. I love that you followed it. You talking about, like, we hear, and so many of us hear things, but do we act on it? That's, yeah.
Yeah. So when she asked me, and right away I did say, I was like, yeah. And she's like, well, think about it. And I was like, yeah, I want to do it. And I love bringing people together. I love connecting people. And so originally it was, it was the Facebook group. And then Carm's like, this can probably grow big. And then that's when I had the idea. I remembered the 411 for the 719. And I told her, oh, we need to work with Rob on this. He's the one that runs the 411 for 719. So we contacted Rob and asked him if he wanted to help us on this project. If he wanted to help us with it, and he said yes. And so that's where that's where the website came from.
Okay.
And so we wanted, the All Things Spiritual group, we wanted to build community and also bring in safe and ethical practitioners and holistic people, psychics, mediums,
Even shops.
everything. And so we wanted to work with people that were working in the light, I think one thing, me and Carm, we work from our heart, right? And one of my things I always say is I try to lead with love. And so we wanted to bring in people that were working from their hearts. And we wanted to make sure we had ethical practitioners, people that work in integrity. So that's what our website is all about, bringing in vetted practitioners. And so Rob helped us build the website, and it's been great. We've grown a lot. I think we had a little over 2,000 members when we took over the Facebook group, and now we're right at 4.2 thousand.
And how long has that been?
In March. We took it over in March.
So
Wow, almost a year.
Almost a year. We took over the group in March. So we're coming up on a year now. It took some time. We started growing the group right away and growing the momentum. And we wanted to bring not just a Facebook, we wanted a place where people could come, connect, meet each other, but also learn. We wanted people to have a place to learn about different modalities, different practitioners. And then we also wanted a place where people could grow their businesses too.
So do you think, is All Things Spiritual for a provider, or is it for a looker? Like,
it's for both. We wanted something that was going to be for both, for people to come and learn, come and get connected, to come and find their tribe, right? To find their friends, find a place where they belong. So yes, it's a group where it's for healers and seekers. I don't think it's heavy one way or the other. We do really want it to be a place for people to come together.
Yeah.
And so we don't want it to just be for healers or just for seekers. We want it to be for both.
So now, besides just your classes, the intuition class and the directory, what else have you guys been putting on? What else does All Things Spiritual do?
We do a lot of meetups. So we meet our group here in Colorado Springs. We meet up twice a month. We have an evening meetup and we have a daytime meetup. And then we also have a book club, and we're starting to branch out. We're not just for Colorado, we're for everywhere, right? We want to
goal.
I don't want to, Yeah, I was gonna say hope, but I'm like, no, it's not
Vision.
hope. Like our mission
vision.
or our vision
Mhm.
is to build in-person communities in other areas. Now the Facebook group is a place for us to get everyone connected, but what we really want to do is build in-person meetups in areas all over the place. Because the more people that come together, the better it is for the collective and in general, right?
Yeah.
To raise a vibration.
So what I would like to say to that too is what I have found is having a bigger birth in the community, meaning that you're out there talking about spirituality, and Rachel is such a big connector. I have found my expansion has been all over the country, and I read across overseas too. And what we want to see is helping others grow their business, grow their connection to their community. So we're looking for other people in different places who have a connecting ability and the enthusiasm to want to be in the forefront of spiritual practice of their community or spiritual gathering.
I really love that you guys have such an expansive mindset. Like too many people that I have been around are, they're so worried about sharing people, sharing contacts. And it's like, you couldn't do 20 readings a day, and it's like but to be open to say, oh, I'm going to share my contacts with the whole world. Like that's impressive.
I love you say that because my biggest thing, there is no competition in this world of spirituality. I'm somebody's reader, but I'm not everybody's reader. And we need to expand the thought that we're not competing. We are bringing the light to the community, and there's a light for you, a light for you, a reader for you, a reader for you, or a healer. We can't have competition mindset. We have to have the openness of the light and love. And it's sharing the wealth of spiritual.
I so agree. And we are all going to rise when we do this. It's amazing how that works. So who do you find is joining All Things Spiritual?
So we have, I think we have a good mix of healers and seekers joining. I do a lot of metaphysical fairs and stuff like that, and I talk to a lot of people and my clients that come to me as well, and I'm always just sharing all things spiritual because again, we're all about building community. We want to build the community, and I think this is something where me and Carm really align in this. Our focus really is about building community, and the rest will come.
Yeah.
And so we're not worried about the other stuff. We really just want to build a community and connect them.
I love that. Carm, why do you think that people are so open now? Like, why are people hungrier than ever before?
Well, great question, first off. And it's funny, a long time ago when I was helping teach Healing Touch classes, I used to tell the students in Healing Touch, I'd say, listen, right now we're in the ocean and we're paddling on our surfboards, but we're waiting for the wave to come, and it is coming. So you need to see yourself in the ocean, and you're prepping to get ready for the wave because it's going to come quick and fast. And I feel this wave has hit us. It's people opening up. It's this energy that is, there is more. And some people are looking just for their own. Spirituality is really connecting to your soul's energy and understanding that there's more to life than seeing yourself as just a human walking this earth. It is our true soul that is walking this earth. We happen to be wearing a car. We have a vehicle. And I always joke, I go, some people get, beautiful Cadillacs and some people get Volkswagens. And so with that, it's people waking up and knowing they have more than just a human side to them. It's truly who they are, is that soul side. And it's embodying that, not living through your human, but living through your heart. And your heart is your soul. Right? Humanness is our ego. And with that, people are shedding the ego and coming into the light. And I do think it's astrologically right now, that's what's happening in this world. We're waking up, and it's truly an awakening time. And they need people who are true light leaders.
Yeah.
And anybody who has their light on, we're all light leaders if you're living in the heart center.
It's interesting to me when I go to the All Things Spiritual meetups, because I want to meet all these people and I want to interview everyone. That's just, I'm like, so interesting to me. Like, when did you start noticing things and stuff? And what I keep hearing from people is they've had these gifts, or they've seen things for years, but they didn't think that was okay. And they've hidden it. They've tried to ignore it. And now it's like somebody has written this universal permission slip. Like, it's okay. We're letting this out of the closet now. Do you guys see that?
Oh, yes, 100%. Well, okay. So and I've been very open about, and I think this is what's helped too, because I'm very open about my journey. Like I said, I've had gifts my whole life. But I was always taught to, and they run in my family, but I was always taught to be afraid of my gifts. Everyone in my family was afraid of their gifts, but I grew up seeing spirits. My family saw spirits. They were always afraid. So they taught me to be afraid. And I was very involved. Like, I was in women's ministry for about 6 years. And I always used, I would get downloads and messages when I would get up and, I ran the MOPS group. So I would get up and do devotionals and stuff. And I would always get messages of what I needed to talk about. And I always listened to that. But, the other stuff just kind of scared me. And so I never really embraced my gifts until after my husband passed. And so after he passed, he kept coming to me. And he wasn't scary. And so, and I could feel his energy. It was him. And so then, I was like, well, maybe there's more to this than what I thought. And then when I went to see Carm, actually, one of the things I really liked about Carm is that she did have faith. Mm-hmm. And so I was under the impression that people that did, psychics or mediums, that they didn't have faith or they didn't believe in God. I think it's a huge misconception, because what I found is actually a lot of them do believe in a higher power or source, creator, God. Many of them do call him God. It's, and so I realized how wrong I was. And so once I stepped into this, and I talk about that, how growing up, I always thought this was wrong and I never fit in and I just felt awkward everywhere. And once I embraced who I was and the gifts that God had given me, there was freedom in that.
Yeah.
And it just grew. Everything grew. And in the beginning, I prayed, God, take this away. I don't want to do this. If this is not, this is against what you want. Don't let me do this. But it just kept getting stronger and stronger. And finally, I just said, okay, God, then that's it. If this is what you want me to do, then I'm just going to have faith that this is what I'm supposed to do. And you're going to take care of me. And so I do, I get a lot of people that come see me for readings that, have gifts, and they've been afraid. They've been afraid of them. And so it's been a really beautiful thing to see that.
Now, I know both of you consider yourself, I've seen your marketing, your posters that say like Christian medium psychics. Do people need to be Christians or believe in God to be a part of All Things Spiritual?
First off, that's a great question again. We honor all faiths, non-faiths. I believe everybody takes their own walk to get to their spiritual side. I love Jesus. That's who I like to work with. And that's where I was raised Catholic. And so I have a lot of the mystery of the Catholic Church I embody, but I walk a more spiritual walk. And with Jesus at my side is what I say. I love everyone. I don't care, who you are.
Yeah.
It's your heart is what I'm looking at. And I don't think you have to embody a religion. I do think you have to have a faith that there's something higher than yourself. And that's what spirituality is. It's like we're not this human form. We're really a spirit having a human experience. And with that, everybody has a different journey, and we're all here to experience our own walk.
Yeah.
But it has to be brought in by love. And love is the most important thing in my mind when I work in mediumship and work in psychic. It's always about the love of the client. I have to fall in love with them and fall in love with the spirit to bring the highest messages for the highest healing of the day for them. That's why I love Rachael, because she has that embodiment too. And anybody you walk with has to be in alignment.
Yeah. I love that. I love what you're doing. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
Well, and like I said, our biggest concern is that they're working ethically and in integrity. Mm-hmm. That's our biggest concern with the people with the practitioners that come into the group.
And it's, I mean, there's websites out there that's like, Annie's List or something like that. It's like, these are approved home repair people, because we all know we get people knocking on our door. They're like, we'll give you a great deal on this thing. And then you see the messages on Facebook of like, these people took my money and they never came back and did the job, And so having that vetted list of people of like, no, this person didn't just move into town yesterday, or, saying something like some wild stuff. I don't know. I think that's a common thing in the world to have a vetted list. So it makes sense.
Yes. And part of that was, because I think we've all heard these stories, right? So I had a client come see me, and she was a young girl, like 23 years old. And she was like, I had a reading yesterday with somebody. And I was like, oh, yesterday. She goes, yeah, well, I went to go see this lady, and it was somebody here in town. And she said, I went to go see her. And she said, I went to go see her, and I wanted to talk about my relationship. That's why she was coming to see me. She goes, but I had questions about my relationship, but she kept wanting to talk about my childhood trauma. And she goes, and so I was just getting frustrated. And she goes, but the lady told me that, she said the lady told her that she had this big dark cloud over her head because of all the childhood trauma she had. And that until she cleared it, like things were always going to keep going wrong for her. It was going to just keep causing chaos in her life. And then she told me that the lady had told her that she had these special angel candles, and that she could purchase for $600 and then when she burned this candle, once it burned, it would clear the energy. And I think my jaw dropped, and I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And she did. And I said, you do have trauma. I can, I do see you, but you don't have a dark cloud hanging over your head. And so that was when we took over this group and started doing the website. It was to bring in the ethical people that are working in integrity. We don't want people that are going to be taking advantage of other people, because unfortunately there are people out there that do that.
In any group of people, there's always a bad apple. And it is nice. I know, as a person who's new to this whole world, I'm just like, I want to learn everything, but then it is kind of scary, because I'm like, I don't know if I trust them, or, and having someone else that's like, Melissa, this person I trust so much, this has been great. That is very comforting to me.
Well, it's a world that has the dark and the light, and we're all always experiencing some form of dark and light, and you have to have both. And so with that, we just try to help people find the right person that has the right light for them.
Yeah.
And there are people who work more in the dark, and that's in every field. That's in plumbing, to spirituality, to even in the religious sectors. And with that, we are just shining our light on the people who have wanting to be in our group. We do vet. So what we do is we know a lot of people in the community, and we look at their Yelp. We look at any of the reviews. We also look at Facebook and how they post. We're always looking for positive, and looking for living in the higher vibration, I call it. You can play high or you can play low, and we look for the high.
I love that. So where do you guys see in 5 years, where do you see all things spiritual being? What's it going to look like?
Oh, I think it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already starting to go into other, we're really heavy in Colorado Springs, but we are starting to move into other cities and other counties. We just started the meetup up in Castle Rock. Staley is doing that one for us. And so she's building a great community out there. But we also see it going into other states as well. And really just being a place to connect everyone. And the good thing for our practitioners too, meeting people in person is great. A lot of people want to do things, work in person, but there's a lot of people can do the work that they do. A lot of the healers can do their work remotely. So what a great place to come and meet people and find the person that you're drawn to, right? Maybe they're in another state. Maybe they're, in another country. So I see it growing and growing and connecting people all over.
I love that. You guys are going to go on a worldwide tour and go meet all your chapters all over.
Don't tempt me.
Yeah. a business tax write-off. You have to.
Well, it's funny because everybody all over the world are hungry.
Mhm.
They're hungry for connection. Like I have a circle group, and I have Australia already in the circle group, and they come at night on a Zoom call. And we're just a little energy snippet away from each other.
Mhm.
And the greatest thing is people go, how do you get that? Well, do you ever think about your phone working and you don't see how you get from ringing the person up for them picking up? It's the same thing. It's energy, it's transmission. And that's why we see it expansive. It's not just in Colorado Springs. Douglas County is growing. We have a beautiful soul who's going to start opening up for Arapahoe area or the South Denver area. We're looking for Boulder. We're looking for a connector in Boulder. We're looking for a connector in we have somebody possibly in Salida we're looking at, and it's growing the community with a heartfelt way. And it's not just Colorado. People understand we just happen to be, we're in the middle of the country. So I think that's why they tap my shoulder, and I'm not afraid to do things when they tap.
Well, and Colorado Springs is so unique, just like it's the Christian Mecca of the US, but it's also like the most witches in the world
I did not know that.
In Manitou. That's like the witch capital. But there's so many people that I meet that are like, I just had a dream and I had to move to Colorado Springs. I just watched it. I think Rachel just watched a show and said, I think we need to go there. We had driven through here and I thought, I don't want to live here. And then we came back and we're like, no, I think we just park here. This is where we're supposed to be. And it's masses of amounts of people that say, I just was drawn.
It's really, if you look at energy and you look at the different cities and areas, there's draws to, like Sedona has an amazing energy field. So does Colorado Springs. I came here when I was 17 and I knew I would be back here living here someday. I came from LA to visit my sister. And then we ended up visiting my sister again and ended up moving here in 1992.
Yeah.
And I've seen Colorado Springs change. And it's an amazing to watch this town of mine. And I love Colorado Springs. It's my favorite place on earth. I want to die with my boots on in my bed in Colorado Springs. But I will say that it has the best energy. And I love that we have all walks, all faith, witches to, to our spiritualists, to we invite everybody.
Yeah.
It's just about your heart. Bring your light. Let's have fun.
Colorado Springs also has like one of the highest per capita groups of entrepreneurs. Like it's very unique. This is a very unique place that we've all been drawn. I'm glad we've been drawn here together.
We have an amazing networking community. So before I stepped into my gifts, I was very heavy in the networking community, and it's one of the greatest networking communities I've ever experienced. And so it's a great place for people to come and get connected.
Yeah. And now we get to teach those networking skills to all those places around. Okay.
I say, I have to tell a little quip. I have to laugh. When I first moved here, I was from Los Angeles and then Sacramento area. And, not people aren't very friendly there. People kind of stay to themselves. So when I moved here, people started talking to me in line. And I'm like, looking at them going, what? You're talking to me? And that was like the most friendly place. And that's what I love about the Springs. I have to say it. It's friendly.
Yeah.
So
for people that have just like stumbled upon your podcast and they're like, oh, I think I might want to get involved with these ladies. How can people get involved with all things spiritual?
Well, first and foremost, just joining our Facebook group. All right. Join the Facebook group.
We're also on Instagram.
We have to be better about posting in there.
And TikTok.
I'm sure they're going to be all the places soon.
Yes. But the Facebook group is probably the most interactive because, you can actually interact with people and ask questions and, get recommendations and just ask. We love when people just ask questions. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Those are always great things. That's the first way to get connected. And then if you have a spiritual practice or holistic practice, join our website. And it's a great way to get exposure. And also, we have a marketing program. So our premier and vetted members do get to advertise in our group. When we first took over the group, it was pretty open to everybody advertising. It started to get a little spammy sometimes. And so we want it to be more about people asking questions, building community, as opposed to people advertising their businesses. So now it's vetted and premier members can advertise in the group. We do have a weekly thread. So if you're not if you're not a pay member, then you can advertise your business in our weekly thread too.
And our classes.
And then we have class.
Offerings. Quote unquote.
Yes. And so, lots of ways to get involved.
Yeah. And so now you guys are both like the admins in the Facebook group. So if somebody, let's say they're listening and they're in Anchorage, Alaska, and they're like, I want to start a group here, they could easily find you in the Facebook group and message you and talk to you about that. Yeah.
I would love to invite, to me, I would love to have more people who are excited, want to be more in the forefront of their own spiritual community. If you get that nudge, contact us. It's one of the best ways for you to grow a bigger vision in your community. You can be a forefront leader. I love being a leader in this community because to me, it's about spreading my light and helping others spread their light. And I want more people to join and who also want to say, me, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Even in a small town, there's so many people waking up, and it's not, you can be religious and you can be spiritual. You can be both. You don't have to just be spiritual.
Yeah.
That's an important thing to say. Very important.
I love that. Thank you for inviting me to interview you guys. And I like getting to know you better. Is there anything before we wrap up that you would like people to know about all things spiritual, about this community that you're building? I feel like we've gone pretty well in depth, but
yes.
Do we miss anything?
I feel like, just to add on what Carm said, when I first started this journey, I feel like part of my mission is to bring in the two worlds, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have to be one or the other. You can be both. And so the group is really for people to come and see that it's okay. And you can be both. And then also we want to build community, not just here, but all over. And so we really are looking for people that want to come in and help build that community. We have an ambassador program for people that are wanting to build community in their areas. Our moderators are all amazing women that are also have their like-mindedness of wanting to build community. They all have a heart for building community. And so if anybody wants to come and join us and help us build so we can all, grow together, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Come on.
Yes, we welcome all. We welcome all.
To me, it brings a smile to my face when I meet somebody else who understands what I say, and I'm not afraid to talk my spiritual journey. And for a long time I was.
Yeah.
So when I get together with somebody and they understand and not judge me, and what I love too is they're like, oh my God, I thought the same thing. It's so great to have somebody who can validate what you're thinking. And we have all walks of life. We do. And we have men in the group too. And so if you're feeling a nudge, come join us.
Yeah. I love at the meetups, I do see like young, old, everything in between, men, women. Mm-hmm. And I hear them say the same thing of like, I felt like I was weird. Like I've always been the weird one. Yeah. And now I'm like surrounded by weird ones. Thank you. And it's so nice to not feel like you're alone. You're the only one experiencing this. You're the only one going through it. Like there are so many people that understand your journey and can help guide you on it.
Well, I think that's one of the things I found the most. A lot of the people that come to the meetups come into the group will say that they're so excited to meet people that they can talk to and say things without, them looking at them like they're weird, right?
Yeah, I oftentimes imagine myself as a missionary overseas. I don't know, but imagine again, you're like in China, you're the only American, and you kind of speak Chinese, right? But you just don't 100% fit in. And then all of a sudden another American moves to town and you're like, oh my gosh,
I'm not alone.
You get me. We can easily communicate. And I feel like it's that same thing.
Well, and spiritualism isn't an alone journey. It's, spiritualism is the connection, and we're all connected at soul level. So if you see it as a connection, you feel so much better. Yeah. And the journey is always greater when you have more people journeying with you. So,
okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Melissa, for joining us on this adventure.
I love your interviewing.
Thank you. That was fun. Thank you.